So when we're talking about costs of renting or owing, basically what we're talking about is where we our home. Right? We either rent or buy. There's unless you live with your parents, this is the two options that you have, right? And then basically there is pros and cons for both of them, right? For owing or for renting. Now we're also going to talk about fixed rate, and we're going to talk about variable rate or variable cost and fixed cost. So when you buy a house, what do you pay other than the property that you live in? So you're going to have to pay a mortgage. That's one thing, right? What else do you have to pay? Hydro, property tax, water, gas,
city,
property tax. You have to pay your maintenance, right? Every time you have to fix something, you have to pay it.
So for building or for we need to approval or we have to pay for that if we need to construct something other, like we have to make another driveway. But we have to pay.
For what, sorry?
Like for construction or some other thing like.
That's part of maintenance. Let's put it under maintenance. Okay, so these are things that you have to pay when you buy your own house, right? Now, what if you're renting a house, or if you're renting an apartment? What is your cost? What do you pay?
Just a rent or
you have to pay your rent.
You have to pay your rent.
Rent or rent.
Now, hydro, water, and gas, it depends, right? It doesn't always have to be. Like if you're living in an apartment building, like 80% of the apartment buildings, you don't pay hydro, water, and gas. Right? Some do charge you, but some that's included in the rent. And what else do you have to pay for?
Your cable, phone.
Cable, phone, that's also at home, right? You have to pay for the cable, phone. At the building, or maybe also if you're renting a house, you also have to pay for parking.
Like insurance?
Insurance, that also includes in both of them. Now the difference is when you're renting, you only have to insure your stuff, right? Because the person who has the house or who owns the house should insure the actual house, right? But when you're renting, you insure your own personal items. When you have your own house, you have to insure everything, your own personal items and the house and the building itself. Now, what's the pros? What's good about owning your own house?
So when you pay the mortgage, so you are actually saving. You are start saving. Instead of giving rent to other people,
Yeah.
so your some principal amount is going to saving.
That's right. So at the end, right, when it's your house, right, it's your own house. So when you're done paying all these interest, that will take forever. But at the end, this is you're building what we call equity, right? You have something. Like if you want to sell it, you're gonna get money back because it's your own house, right? Well, when you're renting, you're paying all this money, right?
It's not yours.
It's not yours at the end. Like once you decide, they decide to just let you go, or you decide to go, you're gonna go with nothing, no money, right? Left behind from everything that you have. Okay. So when we're talking about fixed cost, we're talking about the expense that does not change. So the same expense, same amount that you're gonna pay at a regular interval. Okay. So for example, we're talking about fixed cost at your mortgage, right? Your mortgage is gonna be fixed cost. You're gonna say, when you go to the bank, they're gonna tell you you're gonna have to pay this much money bi-weekly or monthly or whatever, or weekly, whatever you agree with the bank for. Okay, so that's a fixed cost, so it's the same amount. However, your variable cost is an expense where the cost changes, right? And may not even follow a regular schedule. Let's think about when you're renting, or not even when you're owning or renting a house. Let's classify what is fixed and what could be variable. So it will be fixed cost if you're renting or you own your own house. Rent is fixed, right? When you pay whatever $1,500 a month, right, for rent. Maintenance. If you own, if you own your own condo, right, and then you have to pay a maintenance fee for that condo, then yes, it's fixed, right? I don't know if you're renting an apartment if you pay maintenance. No, it's included in that, right? So because maintenance for a house, if you own your own house and you're trying to maintain it, it's not fixed, right? It's variable. One day you're gonna have to do the roof, that's $5,000. The next day you have to fix your washroom because the washroom is leaking. I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, it's not fixed. That maintenance part in the house is never fixed.
In the house,
right? But if you own a condo and then you have to pay the maintenance fee for the condo, then that's fixed. So we said that the fixed would be rental or mortgage, like both of them are fixed, right? What else would be fixed? Your insurance is usually fixed, right? Because you're gonna tell you this much money. Property tax is fixed. And your parking, if you pay parking in an apartment building, it's fixed, right? So for owing, for variable costs, if you're paying utilities, they're not usually fixed. Now you can make them fixed where they take a certain amount every single month. They do have this option, but at the end of the year, you're gonna have to either pay the difference or they pay you back the difference depending on how much you have used or not. But usually it's a variable cost because it's never, you're never gonna use the same amount of hydro every single month. It's not gonna happen, right? So repairs and maintenance, we said they're variable costs because we're thinking about repairs and maintenance for a home. What else do we pay?
When we want to move something, so we have to move, so we have to pay the bills or the rest of things we have.
But that's not like regular, right? This is a special case scenario. How about your internet, your phone,
It comes in
utilities is different. Utilities is only electricity, gas, and water. These are not utilities. Cable is not, no. Cable, internet, and phone are not, right? But these can be either fixed or variable. It doesn't. It's sometimes they are variables because let's say your phone. Let's say if you are paying. They used to be variable, right? Depending on how many minutes you use, then you pay. But now most of them are fixed, right? Where you pay $75, whatever, for the month, but then if you use extra, then you have to pay that extra, right? Same with the internet, it used to be like per gigabyte, now they give you like certain amount, and then if you go over it, you have to pay. So we're gonna put it under variable. But it could be, it could be both.
Mostly the house rent, if we are going in house rent, they ask for this, but in building apartments, they don't, because we have to pay for cable and phone, this is our own.
Yeah, same with a home. At a house, you have to pay your own phone, cable, and internet, right? This is not, but what I'm trying to say here is that the phone, the cable, and the internet, it doesn't have to be every month the same amount, right? You don't, now we do have for our cell phones, let's say, you get a package and you say, this package is $75 and it's a fixed rate, right? No matter how many minutes you talk on the phone, you're gonna pay that $75, that's it, right? So this is considered to be fixed, right? Because it's $75 every month, right? But if you talk more than the limited amount of minutes, then they charge you extra. Or if you call international, they charge you extra, right? And that is now, it's not fixed anymore, it's variable. Okay? Are you guys okay with this? So the difference between fixed and variable is that fixed is, it doesn't change. When you go again, like for your rent, unless it might change because they increased it by a certain percentage, but that change is gonna be changed for another year. So it's gonna be the same amount that you're gonna have to pay every single month for that whole year. Now, when we're calculating things, we usually like to calculate them either as yearly, so this is my cost for the whole year, or we usually calculate them monthly, okay? We don't usually calculate bi-weekly or whatever because that it's too much. It's confusing. So in this case, they want you to calculate the expense, how much it will cost you for 1 year. If you pay a monthly rent of $665, how much would it cost you for the whole year? What do you do? Multiply by 12, right? Because I have 12 months a year. So you have to do so you do 665 times 12. Can you guys do that for me?
7,900.
Where do you find the rent for $665 now? Maybe a bedroom?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I had the same thing, the same one the last year, bedroom,
Yeah.
$700.
It's not possible living in a one bedroom.
Yeah, I know.
Not-
Unless you're one person, right? Your bi-weekly mortgage is $856.21. What would be your yearly payment?
So times
26?
What's that?
That's right, because I have 26 bi-weeks.
Yeah, calculate.
What's the answer for that?
it's 22,261.
22,261.46.
Yeah.
A year?
So that's per year. Okay? That dash is per year. It's not one. when you're putting money, right? Money has to
That
be.
much amount.
That's only for 800, and trust me, that 22,000 is maybe 5,000 of it will be going toward the house, and then the rest will be going toward the interest rate.
But the mortgage is not 856, it's more than that.
It's more than that, yeah, usually. And it depends on what kind of, like, how much you paid for your house, but yeah, it's more than that.
Rent is good.
Rent is good.
Rent is good.
Okay, so I want you to do this one, and I want you to look at the next example and try to answer the questions, okay?